he's going through my conversation and making me super aware that he has heard every single word that I have said. He won't stop bringing up random details like, oh, so you live in this area? Like, I hate that. Just between you and me, I always get an extra seat on a flight in case there's someone who needs help. Someone like you. I asked Twitter what they wanted to hear as my first storytime video, but because Twitter only let me put a few characters, the options sound very eerie. 1 was catfish my sister, 2 is airport sugar daddy, and 3 is sold my info at age 11. Weirdly, they all almost got the exact same number of votes, but airport sugar daddy won by just a little bit, which figures because it is the most disgusting story here. So if anybody does not like creepy guys, bodily fluids, unwanted touching, weirdly all 3 are not entirely related, just click out of this video and I will come back with a less disgusting story soon, but because you guys voted on this, I will tell you. I would define this story more as like my second worst airport experience. My first one I'm probably going to save for when I have more subscribers, so please subscribe if you want to hear it. As a lot of people who travel might know, the airport experience kind of encompasses your entire day. But really, this story started a month before. I got a cold that kind of went into my lungs, and I just had this terrible cough that would not stop. I was feeling awful, and I was also going to go visit my family for the holiday break. My mom was like, I'll just take care of booking the flight because you're so sick. Just let me know. So I tell her like, okay, yeah, my last final is on this Friday in December, and then after that, I'm good with flying. And she ends up booking it an hour and a half after my final is done. I don't know if I forgot to tell her exactly the time, but I'm like, oh God, what do I do? I'm actually only like 30 minutes away from the airport, and it's a really small airport, and the lines are always super, super short. So I figure, okay, I can figure this out. The day I have to do this, I wake up and I throw up from coughing. It's kind of gross. It's not really that my stomach is sick, but that I just can't quit coughing. And so I go into school. I'm in this really annoying class that's about preparing yourself for the professional world, which is actually a really important thing. But the guy who's teaching it is not doing that. We haven't like put together portfolios. We haven't done resumes. We haven't done anything. He just kind of wants to give us assignments that are like the work he does. He has a very specific job and he just wants to tell us about that job. And our final is like making a presentation that is like the kind of presentation he would give at work for his specific job. He's also very like proud of himself. So he's always like leaving folders open, feels like on purpose. When he projects his computer screen, he's like, oh, sorry. Oh, I had the Madonna folder open because he does like graphics for some celebrity. I mean, he's like not great at reading the vibe. He'll be like, oh, so what did you guys do last weekend? He'd be like, oh, I mean, we were doing finals. We're doing finals for your class. We're pretty stressed out about it. And he's like, oh yeah, well, I took drugs. Have you done this drug? Have you done that drug? And we're like, oh, he did graduate from the school like 10 years before we did, but he was just like way older than us, and it just seemed like he really wanted to be our best friend. So we all give our final presentations. Then he starts telling us this story about how he used to do this like celebrities graphics and how he invented Vaporwave, which is not true. And one of the students is like, I actually have to go eat lunch before my next final. I don't know if it's because he's feeling lonely or what. He's like, any of you leave this classroom before I say you are all going to fail your final. And I'm like, oh shit, because I actually had to go to school with my luggage. By the way, it's already noon. We're supposed to be out of class. So I'm sitting there prepared to like get my luggage and just hop in an Uber. So he's just talking and talking and talking. I'm like, oh God. Finally, he lets us out, and my stomach is feeling weird again. I call my Uber, quickly run to the bathroom, and what a miracle. I have my period a week before it's supposed to happen, and no products with me, and the dispenser in the bathroom is out, and I'm like, okay. And I just do what anyone does in this situation, which is wrap it up with a ton of toilet paper and get to the closest products you can. So I wrap up things. It's kind of gross, but it'll do. I get into the Uber. I explain the period situation. I explain the lateness situation, and he's like, we're going to get you there. And this Uber driver is so cool. He's not driving dangerously, but he's like definitely trying to make it through every light. He's really, looking at his map all the time, trying to take the right route. And he gets me there. And as soon as we get there, he hops out, like gets my bag, and he's like, go, go. And I'm like, thank you. So I run in, and I think my flight's going to board in like 10 minutes. And thank God, security is short. One thing, if you do know me, is I have a curse that I always get stopped when I go through security. And usually it's when I go through the big machine and it's like my socks, which I wear very normal socks, but they're always like, oh, there's something unusual detected with your socks. So I go through and they're like, okay, we have to pat you down. I'm like, okay, cool. Ready for you to pat down my socks. And they go, we have detected something unusual in your crotch area. We need to pat that down. And I'm like, what?
And he's like, yeah, so we'll need to pat your underwear down. I'm like, I'm on my period. This is just, it's a pad. It's not a pad, but I'm like, it's a pad. And he's like, it's protocol. We detected it as unusual. Would you rather us do it out here, or would you like a female agent to do it in private? And I am wearing like a little short dress. No, I do not want people sticking their hands up under my dress in public. So I go, oh, no, I'll do it in private. So I go into private, and there's this grumpy TSA agent, and I tell her, I'm on my period. It kind of just started. It's like, it may be leaking. I am so sorry. And she's like, okay, puts her gloves on, kind of like pats, and then takes her hand out, and her blue glove is now stained red. And she kind of looks at me like, ew. And I'm like, yeah, ew, I don't know. So I then am like, okay, do I get on my flight, or do I try to get a pad as soon as I can? But as I get to my gate, I see that it says, of course, my flight is delayed an hour. Thank God. So I run into the bathroom. Their machine has no tampons or pads either. Cool. Run to the other bathroom. There's only two because it's a really small terminal. They also don't have any. So I check out the two shops. One of them doesn't have anything. The other has one product, which is pads, but they're like military grade. They're extremely thick, and they're like over a foot long, and it's kind of like you're wearing a huge diaper. But it's what I have to do. So I spend like a stupid amount of money on like 30 gigantic pads, go into the bathroom, change everything out. I'm clean. I'm fresh. I'm good. But I'm still coughing a ton. I'm really sick and gross on top of all of this. I go out and I sit down at one of the chairs at my gate. I realized I was going to meet my friend right after I flew in, but this is just not it. And I'm like, I just need to go home and rest. I call my friend, and I'm always really nervous actually about making calls in public because I'm worried I'm going to be loud and obnoxious. So I know I'm sitting here whispering, and I tell her, what happened this day, the throw up, the stupid teacher, the patting down, the really expensive, huge diaper pads. And she's like, that sounds terrible. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you don't want to hang out? And I'm like, no. And she's like, oh, well, let's just meet up in like a few days. Hopefully you're feeling better then. Like, yeah, cool. As I'm whispering, I'm like coughing a lot, very gross. And we just end up chatting a little bit about our lives because we both have been stressed and hadn't had time to catch up in a long time. We hang up, I'm sitting there on my phone, and I hear a voice from behind me. The chairs at the airport are back to back. It's this guy, and he's like, oh, so you go to so-and-so school. And I hope he's not talking to me, but of course he is. And at this point in my life, I'm really bad at being rude to people and shutting them down. So I just ignore it for a second. He says it again, and I'm like, oh, yeah. And he's like, oh, it's so great to meet like a young artist and all this stuff. I'm like, okay. And then he brings up the TSA thing, and he's like, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And I just feel so awkward because it feels like he's going through my conversation and making me super aware that he has heard every single word that I have said. I hate that. And he kind of is like, you're really sick, and I am really worried about you. And he's literally like probably around 60. He's like this skinny old guy in like this black hat. He kind of looks like like producer Hollywood type. I'm in California in the story, by the way. That's why I'm wearing a dress in the winter. I'm just getting more and more creeped out. Eventually, he just keeps coming back to the fact that he's like, you are so sick. You're so sick. And I'm like, I'm actually fine, but that's okay. And he's like, well, just between you and me, I always get an extra seat on a flight in case there's someone who needs help. Someone like you. And I'm like, what? He's like, just like a young woman, a young artist struggling. And I'm like, I'm okay. He's like, but what will you do if you're on the plane and you need help? I'm like, I've been fine. I've been fine for a month. I think I'll be okay. He's like, I'm in first class. You can lay back. You can sleep. You can sit by the window in the aisle, and I'll just be there in case there's an emergency. I really do not think there's an emergency. I just, I've reserved this for somebody like you. Otherwise, I just have these two seats and I would rather sit alone, but I just really want to help you. Not only now I'm like, okay, this guy is like weirdly hitting on me, but I am so gross. Does he want an infection? Do you want me to cough on you? Do you like the period story I told? Like, what is the appeal here? Because I am in my most disgusting human state absolutely possible ever. he just will not stop. And also he won't stop bringing up random details like, oh, so you live in this area? Like he heard all of this on the phone when I was trying to talk as quiet as possible. So it's all really upsetting. And I'm so sorry, I have to go to the bathroom. And I go back into the bathroom, which is close to my gate, so I can hear the announcements. And I do a rude thing and just take up one of the stalls. I never get out until I hear the boarding start. And I wait because my boarding zone or whatever is towards the end. I'm in the back of the plane. And I do not want to see this guy. So I come out and I get in the line and I'm at the end of it, one of the last people. And as I'm about to scan my ticket, I hear him like, excuse me, ma'am. And I look over and he is at that front desk area and he's like waving to me over. And there's also an agent there who's also waving me over. And I'm just like, I do not know what he told her. And he just keeps waving and I'm like, no. And I scan my ticket and I go in and I rush to the back. My flight is fine. I mean, I'm coughing, I'm gross, but at least I'm not napping next to this creepy guy. At the end of the flight, I am by a window seat. I just like sit there, kind of wait for most of the other people to onboard, and then I quickly walk off, try not to make any eye contact in case he's still on. Finally get out. As I get out, I see him sitting in one of the seats as if he's waiting for me, but he's looking at his phone. So I just make a mad dash for it and I walk as fast as I can. I escape. I never see him again. But the next day I do go to the doctor and they're like, oh, you developed pneumonia. And I was on a nebulizer for the next 2 weeks. Did not get to see my friend, so that sucked. Anyway, moral of the story, don't get sick. Don't go to the airport. Don't get your period. Don't let creepy men be around. If you want to hear my worst airport experience ever, please like and subscribe. And I also want to hear if anything like this has ever happened to you guys. Have you ever gotten like a weird, I don't know if he's a sugar daddy, whatever the heck he was. Have you ever gotten one of these guys? Has anybody offered this to you? This is really strange to me. Please help.